you are to worship. Come, just as you are before your God.
We pervade the community. We pervade the community. Memorable words that were spoken to me by a member of this congregation as part of a mission action plan process. Not this time, not last time, but the time before that, way back in 2012. I was a newish member of the PCC back then, and with a couple of others had been given the task of interviewing members of this congregation to get ideas for the community-facing part of our mission action plan. We pervade the community. Four simple but incredibly important words as we think this morning about our role as a church and as individual Christians as it relates to the community around us. Because sometimes we can run the risk of thinking about community far too locationally, geographically. We can think of our church here, these four walls, and Wendover somehow over there somewhere. We can lose sight of the reality that we pervade the community. We are all in it all of the time. We're members of tennis clubs and cricket clubs, schools, the youth centre, U3A, scouts, guides, choirs, community groups. We attend the same health centre as everyone else. We frequent the same supermarkets, restaurants, and pubs. As Christians, as followers of Jesus, we pervade the community in which we live. I'm going to pause now and invite you to do just a little reflection. When you came in this morning, I'm hoping that you will have been given a piece of A5 paper and a pencil. If you don't have one of those things, please make yourself known, and I'm sure somebody will come and give you one of those things. And what I'd like you to do is to spend a minute or two writing down the different ways in which you engage in this community. So beyond St. Mary's, and if you're not from this community, think of your own community and your own church. So beyond St. Mary's, what groups or clubs do you belong to? What organisations are you involved with? Where do you like to hang out? Where do you meet people? You will be pleased to know that there are no right or wrong answers here. I will not be collecting in your papers at the end. So just reflect and write for a couple of minutes. I'm loving the learned concentration. I feel bad breaking into that. But hopefully that's been an interesting and useful reflection. And I suspect if we repeated that, we did that at the 9 o'clock, but if we repeated it as well for everybody who's not here this morning, I think we would find that that wise soul back in 2012 was right. We do indeed pervade every part of our Wendover community. And I think we could probably end up pulling together a kind of network map of how we all engage with different bits of this wonderful place that we live in. And that's important. because so much of our work as a church at the heart of our community is simply about how we engage in the everyday facets of community life. And that, let's face it, is so much more than quietly doing no harm. So much more than just minding our own business. It's about how we bring our own distinctiveness as Christians, our faith, our hope, our joy, our actions, very intentionally to those around us. In his Sermon on the Mount, right at the start of his ministry, Jesus was very clear about his expectations for his followers. You are the light of the world, he said. Let your light shine before others that they may see your good deeds and glorify your Father in heaven. There are two distinct points here, I think. At one level, we need to be light in the sense of being good, the opposite of darkness and evil. We need to behave in the right ways, to seek to be Christ-like in all that we do. That is one fundamental quality of our light. But our light must also shine brightly. We need to be comfortable in whatever way works best for us, for people to know that we are followers of Jesus. We need to point people through our words and our actions towards God. And that, I think, is increasingly important in a country in which, according to a recent survey you may have seen, there are now more atheists in this country than people who believe in a God. We are called to share our faith, to share the joy and the love, the abundance, the wonder, and let's face it, the excitement of being a follower of Jesus. We need to have the confidence to proclaim our faith when we have the chance. And don't worry, I'm not suggesting for a moment that we all need to start preaching on an upturned milk crate on the Manor Waste on a Saturday morning. But we do need to be happy to speak openly about our faith and of being part of this church. And we need to be ready when people ask the questions which, if we're getting it right, will inevitably come. Why do you volunteer at Sparklers? Why are you always so generous? Why are you so committed to green issues? Why are you always giving to the food bank? I continue to believe that the best form of evangelism is a lifestyle sort of evangelism, rooted in action and behaviour, making people wonder why we do the things we do, and encouraging them to want to join in too. And joyfulness, I think, lies at the heart of it all, a fundamental part of our ability to shine. Is Dr. Barbara Holmes writing in Richard Rohr's Daily Reflection a couple of weeks ago. She says, suppose that at the entrance to heaven there is a scale, not a scale to weigh good and bad deeds, but a scale to measure joy. Suppose our passage into the next life will not be determined by the number of souls saved, sermons preached, or holiness pursued, just joy. She goes on to say, we've become very sombre Christians in a very sombre age. It's not that we don't have things to be concerned about. There are wars, natural disasters, deficits, broken relationships and viruses. But in the midst of this, we're called to joy by a joyful God and a joyful Saviour. As followers of Jesus, we are called to shine joyfully in the world. How well, I wonder, would each of us say we manage that each and every day? I know that I certainly have a fair amount of work to do. But of course, simply pervading the community, however joyfully, isn't always quite enough. Just being there, shining and being joyful, isn't the full measure of our Christian mission. Often we are called by God to engage more explicitly, to go where there is particular need or opportunity. And of course, in that respect, there's a huge amount for us to be excited about over these coming years. The Mission Action Plan that we've just published is the most outwardly focused plan that I've seen in my 20 years or so here at St. Mary's. Our pioneer minister for children, young people and families will be rooted not here in church, but in our schools, in the youth centre, in our community settings. We've expressed the need to combat loneliness in this community, particularly through our community cafe, and to support young people in their mental health and well-being. We're continuing our eco-church work and are planning to improve our building and our churchyard to be more accessible for people from across our community. And we've committed to sharing the good news through both Wendover News and social media. All ways in which this church will shine as a light in the world, in our community here in Wendover. Opportunities for each of us to be fully involved in God's mission in this place. I'm going to pause again now and give you a chance to reflect again. So grab those pieces of paper again. Hopefully you haven't completely filled them up with the first reflection. And I'd like you to write down just one or two ways in which you might bring new light to this community or to the community of which you are part. And that might include how you could shine God's light more brightly in the bits of the community that you already engage in, or it might be a personal commitment to engage in part of the community-facing aspects of our Mission Action Plan, or it might be something completely different, totally new, that God is calling you to. 2 minutes. Thank you. I hope that's been helpful. I would invite you to take that piece of paper home with you, to pray on it this week, perhaps to write a bit more, and most of all, of course, to make it happen. As I close, I'm going to share a bit of a rework of the reading that Jennifer brought us from Revelation earlier. Many of you will know that a few years ago I had the privilege to work at Oasis, the Christian community transformation charity led by Steve Chalk. I've shared before their reworking of Revelation 21 for their community in Lambeth. And last week I had an enjoyable time having a similar go at it for Wendover. I hope you enjoy it. It was 8 o'clock on Monday morning. I was standing on the Manor Waste, and I saw a new Wendover coming down from the heavens. I saw a teenager leaping out of bed with joy, laughing with the freshness of the morning. I saw elderly ladies skipping down the high street, arm in arm. I saw office workers relaxing in the sun, joyful at the prospect of another great week at work. I saw children eager to learn and teachers eager to teach. I saw people of all ages talking earnestly, eager to know and understand each other. And I looked across the community of Wendover, a community of hope, a community of grace, a community of warmth. And in the clearness of the morning, I looked down into the health centre, and there was no more depression, no more anxiety, no more stress. There was no more vandalism or antisocial behaviour in the park, no more sorrow of family breakdown, no one needing to drown their sorrows in drink. No more sadness and tears, only joy and laughter. No more discrimination, no more body shaming, no threats, no fears. I saw a Wendover where everyone looked out for each other and nobody was lonely. Everyone felt loved and supported. I saw a Wendover where hearts were unbroken, partnerships lasting, peaceful and happy. I saw a Wendover where tears were wiped away. Amen.
Now, I have just heard some news that it's a very special day for a very special little lady. Daisy, how old are you today? 9. She's 9, everyone. A big 9. I won't get you to stand up or anything, but I would love it if we could sing happy birthday, please.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Daisy. Happy birthday to you.
Have a lovely day, won't you? So, before anything else, I need to say a thank you. A thank you, Jackie, to everyone who worked hard yesterday. Is that right? Go on, please. I would just like to say a huge thank you for the hard work that has taken place to tidy up our churchyard. It is greatly appreciated. Please take a wander round, won't you? It's looking lovely. So thank you to people that work continually out there to make it so beautiful. Now, I've got a lot of dates for your diary, so sit comfortably, listen, please. Next Sunday at 3 o'clock is our first, I'm really excited, Connect, Create and Celebrate service. This is a service for everyone, but especially for families. Now, 9 o'clock were very good, and they have provided me with some help, but I do still need a bit of help, please, serving refreshments, providing refreshments. So if you could speak to me afterwards, that would be wonderful. And do come along. It'd be lovely to see you. Lots of fun taking place. Now, have you got your barn dance tickets? Hands up if you have. Oh, well done to those. Please do get your tickets. There are some over at the back there. Pete, are you going to be overseeing the sale of barn towns? See Pete at the end to get your tickets. It was fabulous last time. We had such good fun. It's on Friday, the 25th of October, and there'll be fish and chips, if that makes a difference, everyone. Then the next date is Sunday, the 3rd of November at 3 p.m. This is our annual memorial and Thanksgiving service. It's a beautiful service. It gives an opportunity to reflect and think about those people who we have loved dearly and who have died. So that's on Sunday the 3rd of November at 3 o'clock. And then the following week, on the 10th of November at 4 p.m, we have another wonderful tea and Teze service planned. If you didn't come last year, you really did miss a treat. So make sure you get there this year on the 10th of November. And that's it. There we go. Wasn't that bad, was it, everyone? I will test you as you leave this morning.
The Spirit lives to set us